going on, everybody? Cyclone of Terror here, bringing you all my 400 subscriber special. This is a Q&A that I had announced last week, and in the background what you are watching is some Assassinate gameplay that I've played in the past week. If I go past the time limit on the first gameplay, I'll put a second gameplay up so that it won't just be a black screen for 10 minutes. So let's get right into these questions. These are some very good questions. I read them all and I wrote them all down, and I'm going to answer them one by one. So first off, we have from I'm Evil Chicken. He asks, how did I get my PSN name, which is my PlayStation Network account? That's a good question. How I got my PlayStation ID was basically all because of that PlayStation Network hack that happened like 2 years ago. And I know a lot of PlayStation fans don't like bringing that up, but it happened because it was down for what, like 6 weeks, like 2 months or something like that. And that was about the time where I actually started getting into Assassin's Creed multiplayer, because I had played the single player for Brotherhood for about 3 months, and then I didn't even realize it had multiplayer till like later on when DLC 3 came out, which was Assassinate, and that's kind of where I got started into the multiplayer itself. But basically how I got my name is I got rid of my previous account that I had, my previous PlayStation account. I'm not even going to tell you guys what that was. That was just a pathetic excuse for a PlayStation account. It's really dumb. So I came up with Psycho Cyclone X because I liked the word cyclone. I thought it just sounded cool at the time when I made the name. But obviously I couldn't leave it as Cyclone because someone had already had that account name. So I said, what could I put in front of it to make it sound, you know, badass and cool? So I said, you know what, Psycho Cyclone. That sounds like a pretty cool name to have. But then I kept thinking, you know what, that Psycho Cyclone, that's a good name, but it needs something at the end of it to give it that polish and that finish, you know? So, so I came up with Psycho Cyclone X. So that's really how I came up with my PlayStation name. Now, as far as my YouTube and my Xbox, same deal. I tried to get Psycho Cyclone on Xbox, and that was taken, so I just said, you know what, I just make a sort of a different name, but kind of the same. So that's where I got Cyclone of Terror. Just, I don't know, I just randomly thought of that, and that's where I got those names from. Alright, next question comes to us from Mantiox. I believe that's how you pronounce it, or Mantois. I don't know. And the question is, what do you think helped grow your channel? How did you start it? Well, I started it about a year and a half ago after I've seen hundreds of Assassin's Creed multiplayer videos from various other people. I think the two main people who inspired me to make videos are Gamer's Beverage, who I believe his previous account name was PlayStation Next Generation, or PS Next Generation, something like that. He was the first person whose Assassin's Creed videos that I saw of multiplayer, and so that's kind of where the big inspiration came from. But also the second was the Mighty Aslan. Mighty Aslan had some amazing Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Manhunt, and Alliance gameplay, and I thought, man, you know, one day I hope I can get scores like that, because he was straight up beasting people back then. So that's where I was inspired. Now, as far as growing it, hopefully, you know, it will continue to grow day by day. But I mean, I'm just doing these videos for fun. I'm not trying to start something bigger than what it is. I just like playing Assassin's Creed multiplayer and putting up videos and talking about the game. That's just what I do. Alright, next question is from Deadly Assassins 9, and he asks, where am I from in the United States, and what are your dreams for future as a job? Well, Deadly, I'm from western United States, in the beautiful state of sunny Southern California. The city of Los Angeles. I mean, I don't really live in Los Angeles, but I live in a suburb of Los Angeles. So that's where I live. Now, what are your dreams as a future and a job? Well, I hope to be just, as a career, I hope I can just be of service to people in my community. Like, that's not really like an actual job. I'm still kind of like exploring the field that I'm getting into in college here, and that brings it right into the next question, which is from back from the 70s, and he asked, in one of your videos you said you were in college, so what are you studying? Well, back from the 70s and Deadly Assassin 9, what I'm studying is the field of criminal justice. That's right, criminal justice. But it's not just about crime and law enforcement and stuff like that. It's much bigger. It's more dealing with criminalistics and like dealing with just people who do bad things on a daily basis, and anything I can do to help to be of service to the community and to prevent crime from happening, because many people joke about it a lot, but crime does happen every day, and video games for me are kind of like an escape from the outside world and all the bad things that happen. So that's the career field that I want to get into. Now the next question comes to us from Artful Dodger, and he asks, what are your thoughts of the ending of Assassin's Creed 3? Well, that's gonna be a long answer, but I'll make it short here. What I thought of the ending itself, of Desmond dying, like, I want to put that in quotations because we don't know for a fact that he's dead. That's kind of dumb. I didn't really like that. I thought for sure Ubisoft would have made an Assassin's Creed game that was just Desmond, like no ancestors, just Desmond being an assassin. And they put some gameplay in Assassin's Creed 3 of him doing that. I don't know why they couldn't put the whole game that way, but I think it's just because so many people dislike Desmond. Like, they did not like any of his character or his missions or his role involved, but people forget that it's because of him that we're able to play as Altair, Ezio, Connor, Haytham, it's all him, really. So I don't know, I think Ubisoft just kind of like caved in to fan feedback too much and killed him off, in quotations, so we don't know that for a fact. Well, I guess we'll find out in Assassin's Creed 4. Now next question is from Carlos Almeida, and Carlos asks, which was the best AC multiplayer and single player? Best AC multiplayer, hands down, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. That game is very special for a lot of reasons, because it was the introduction of Assassin's Creed multiplayer and just got me interested in the game overall. Yeah, no, that's multiplayer. Single player, it's got to be Assassin's Creed 2. Assassin's Creed 2 had, 15-20 hour campaign. It was just ridiculous, the amount of content that they put in that game and how much time. I actually played that game on my previous account, my previous PlayStation account, and I put a lot of time into it. It's a very good game. Definitely the best single player out of the Assassin's Creed franchise. And we're coming up on the last question here. And okay, yeah, this is the last question. So this comes to us from an anonymous. Oh, okay, here we go. So this person did not want to be named. I don't know why. But I said it's totally fine. And they ask, which console will you be getting? PlayStation 4 or Xbox One? Wow. Okay, that's a good question. And I kind of wanted to make my own video, like discussing the pros and cons of both consoles and everything that's happened about Xbox One and PlayStation 4, things that they've said and didn't say, and stuff that is gonna be on it and not gonna be on it. That's okay. That could be a whole video in itself. But I think I'm gonna get a PlayStation 4 first. I'm planning on getting both. I am planning on getting both, but I will get the PlayStation 4 first. And I'm not gonna get it this year. I'm gonna wait, 6 months, a year or so. I want to make sure that the consoles both work and they both there's no problems with it, because when the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 came out, they both had problems. Xbox had the red ring of death, and PlayStation 3 was so expensive, and it had problems with the network and stuff. So, but I am planning on getting both. I'm excited. I think a lot of the games that they showed for the next generation look like phenomenal, amazing. The developers of those games deserve a lot of credit. So yeah. So that just about does it for the Q&A. Once again, I want to thank everyone for subscribing to my channel. You can expect more videos to come when Assassin's Creed 4 is released. I will be playing that game, and hopefully I can enjoy it for many, many months. So that does it for this video. Hope everyone has a wonderful day.